What's up, Virgo gang? How's it going? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. My name's Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This reading will be geared ever so slightly more towards Virgo rising, so highly recommend that you check out your rising sign. But of course, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Venus, whoever is welcome to join this reading. I'm happy to have you all here, including the cross watchers. My only stipulation is that you come into this with an open heart and an open mind, and the desire to better yourself. These are messages that I want to motivate, empower, inspire you. If you're not feeling that way, it might not be your message this week, or it may just not resonate at this point in time. So feel free to check back at another date and take in the messages and just sit on them, right? See if they speak to you later. That's about it. You're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's try and have some fun, get you some fun, well, I say fun, helpful, insightful messages. That's really what my aim and my goal is. So, remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, etc. Anything you can do to participate in this community and help my channel grow, I would appreciate it. All right, let's do it for Virgo. Harley Spencer Tarot, the badass tarot. That's what we're using today. We'll see if it comes through. Interesting. All right, so I don't know why I'm being pulled here first. I'm always curious to look into the house of dating. The first message I'm getting here, and obviously won't be for everyone, but you know that, so I'm not going to say that on every message. Take only what resonates. Something about conformity versus rebellion. I don't even know the context of what this is, but there's a scene in The Breakfast Club, for those who've seen it, 1980s, kids in high school, detention. Judd Nelson, the rebel, the guy who's kind of like the outsider, the punk, the tough guy, he's running through the school hallways and he's tearing down all the banners and he's singing, "I want to be an airborne ranger." I don't know what that reference is. I'm sure it's referencing a famous quote or song. I don't know what it is personally, but there's something about not wanting to be put in a box or in a corner or to be stereotyped or being sick and tired of being labeled like the rest. And this has to do with your dating life, or it might be something your child is feeling, like they're being, I'm hearing pigeonholing. Someone is assigning you a number or a role or a responsibility, and you're sick of it. You're like, this isn't who I am, this isn't what I want, this isn't what I asked for, this isn't what I'm aiming to manifest, and yet it keeps happening. What's that about? And maybe that is significant, maybe the name Judd is significant. I don't know why that came through. Like, this is what I'm looking at, just so you know. I have no idea why I got the Breakfast Club out of that, but I mean, even that to me, though, that speaks to stereotype, right? Those kids in detention. It's the jock, it's the princess, it's the nerd, it's the basket case, but there's so much more than that. I think that on some sort of deep level is sort of what this message is getting at. And now I'm seeing items like, it's because of the scan code or the bar or whatever thing. It's like you're just being scanned through like the rest, herd mentality. I don't know what this is, but there's a need for you to own your individuality. There's a need for you to be different, to be rebellious, for the purpose of honoring your authentic truth. And I'm going to be super honest, Virgo, not giving a flying you-know-what other people think, or that by you expressing your individuality or your identity, by simply allowing yourself to thrive and be your authentic self, you don't need to worry about making other people uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. It very likely will make people uncomfortable, and that's not what you're being told to focus on. You need to honor your authentic truth. And maybe that has to do for some of you with dating someone who you want your parents' approval of. I don't care how old you are, right? Whether you're 16 or 60, right? There's something about, we're done conforming. We're done being like this little puppet or, I just keep getting things like put in the box. I'm seeing a Jack in the Box like being pushed in and closed, and like it just wants to spring out and be like, ha ha ha, like I'm the Jack in the Box. I'm getting all these weird movie references. You know that scene in Elf? I don't know why these are coming. Anyway, sorry. It's like you're shoving who you are down in the box, and yet it keeps springing out because it's meant to be out. It's meant to live. It's meant to breathe. Something about that. There's a huge chapter of transformation happening in, I think, yes, your house of dating, but also this may stem from something in your childhood too. And if none of this resonates and you do have children, something about that, it has a lot to do with your child. Your child may internally feel very different from everyone around them, and they're assuming that there's something wrong with them, and it's almost like I think you're being made aware of this to maybe initiate that conversation or just check in with them. This could even be a young child who's questioning like their and when I say young, teenager-ish, I'm guessing, who's maybe questioning like their sexual preferences or their sexual identity, or again, like comparing themselves to the rest and being like, I'm the black sheep and there's something wrong with me, like I need to blend in, and it's the exact opposite, okay? That's a really important message, and it's really coming through strong. That's where I started. So, yeah, why are you trying to wear a mask or a costume? Why are you trying to be something you're not? I think it probably comes from a reason that you're justifying, again, in terms of serving someone and what they need from you. But what you're missing is what you need from yourself is honoring your truth and authenticity. All right, I know. I'm repeating myself. I can't help it. It's important. It's important. You may have very high ideals of what you want something to look like versus what it actually is. This idea of the nuclear family, that's the first thing that comes up here for me, right? This idea of, we're just dandy and fine and everyone's happy and mom and dad love each other and the kids get along fine and no one feels neglected. But underneath the surface, are there some heavier truths that you're being asked to deal with? Do you feel like you had to conform to a certain way based on expectations around you, even if it's at work? I just see that coming to a head. I see you taking a vacation from suppressing your identity or not living your authentic truth. And I know some of you may be saying, no, this isn't my message, this is about my kid. Yeah, it probably is about your kid, but it probably has something to do with you too. Sometimes these messages resonate in multiple areas of life, even though we don't always recognize that. So really sit with this message. It's not a negative one, it's just saying some liberation from past cycles is due. You may even be moving away from an area or a home or a location, and there's a lot of, I'm hearing the word stigma, but that's not very, I know. There's a lot of stigma attached to it. There's a lot of repressed energy or repressed memories. Here's the thing, I think you're very happy to move away from it. But you may feel bad saying that because, again, maybe everybody around has these really dandy, sentimental memories, and part of you is like, thank God that's over, but again, you feel uncomfortable vocalizing that with everyone else. You may make a lot of money or be excelling in your career, your profession, your education, but you've been told to be very humble and not flash it around, again, because it makes other people uncomfortable, and I don't think that's should be a concern of yours. I think you should celebrate yourself. Some of you may actually have like a winning lottery ticket, or you may win unexpectedly. This is very important. You may win something unexpectedly, and I'm not saying it's $1 million. If it is, great, awesome. There's something that comes to you unexpectedly. And there's a message here of your gut reaction when you have this incredible news to share is to not share it. Again, these are so repetitive because you fear that it makes you look like you're trying to perform. Just like, fucking own it. Be yourself, Virgo. Like, I'm giving you permission. Just be who you are. I hope this is making sense to you. If it's not your message, I'm sorry it's not your message this week, but I don't know. It wants to be seen in multiple areas of your life. What are you telling me here? Hold on. You may feel uncomfortable standing out among siblings or cousins or friends because you have something very special and unique about you. But it often attracts the wrong type of people. Especially people who use you for your money. And so that's an interesting dynamic, though, because it's not saying don't. It's not saying hide it. I think it's saying know your audience. What is that expression I love? It's like read the room. There's certain people who absolutely want to congratulate you and celebrate you in all your achievements and successes and endeavors. So that's really a question for you to put through the lens of who are your most loyal friends and loyal people? Because those are the ones that are going to empower you and inspire you and, you know, say things that build you up when you deserve that recognition. Take the credit, Virgo. It's yours. Don't pass it off. Don't hide it. It's almost like you guys get a promotion and your first reaction is, oh, I can't share it with anyone. Like, how will that make me look? Like, part of me just wants to give you a big hug because you were raised in an environment where you were taught that, like that's braggadocious or whatever that word is. It's like I don't even know what the word is. Like, you're not allowed to have an ego. You're not allowed to have an identity, a sense of self. The thing is, for some of you, it's not so much a matter of not being able to express it. You do, but something about that too, you may be attracting people who use you for your money or who use you for information, numbers, something about your career to climb the corporate ladder, but they're doing it like piggybacking off of you. You may do favors for people, but you don't get anything out of it, or it's not that. You may do favors for people very freely and not charge for your services or not seek any compensation, even if it's just, do you understand what I mean? It doesn't have to be monetary. What you don't realize is that people are literally crawling over you to get to the prize that you want. You're enabling them to, like, I don't know, it's like a crook and you're giving them a leg up. And I don't think they're literally a crook, but do you understand what I mean? There's a lack of perception of some sort of person around you where it's actually really weighing you down. But I think in a very beautiful Virgo way, a lot of you guys thrive off the ability to serve others. But at what point does it take away from you? At what point is it self-destructive in even ways that you don't consciously realize? You may have anxiety about going on some sort of road trip or business trip with someone. And it may be for reasons that make you a little bit uncomfortable because you're anticipating some conversation coming up between you. And the thing is, you're absolutely right. That is going to be a topic of conversation because inevitably when you're with someone for that amount of time, you're just going to talk about things. You don't have to, but I actually think the universe is setting you up to purposely tackle this issue head on. And it might be with a coworker who you feel like went behind your back or used you or did something that was, I don't know if shady is the right word, but yeah, I would say more or less used you. Whether it was intentionally or like accidentally, I think it makes you uncomfortable to even address the issue. And again, I get it. But I actually think it would be very freeing and liberating for you to stand your ground on this one. Because I do think more or less something is owed to you. Even if it's not money, even if it's just an apology. But I say even if, that's very important. Because really, it's like, I'm hearing the word respect. Someone may have crossed the line or fudged the numbers. I don't know what this is. Somebody may have done something that your name was attached to it, but because they did it in a shady way, the public success or public recognition, or the opposite, the notorious reputation, it may have actually dragged you down into the mud as well. It may have put your name through the ringer or through the mud or whatever that expression is. It may have put you in a very uncomfortable position. And this person, this is actually kind of similar to the Capricorn reading, very interesting. This person kind of knows what they did, but either they're not remorseful or they're not going to bring it up because they hope that you forget. This may have to do with a mutable sign. So a Gemini, especially a Gemini or a Sagittarius, this may be the whole thing about the John Bender thing. This may be like a very rebellious spirit too, and they have like a natural aversion or a defiant attitude towards society, like F it, I make my own rules. Which is interesting because, like, there's a lot of messages there. Because part of this reading is, like, you need to adopt that, I don't care what people think, I'm me and this is who I am. But you also need to be aware that if you're not okay, I get this. If you're not honoring and respecting that side of you that is so desperately, like, screaming out to be an individual and to just, like, you know, screw the perceptions of what's around you, just be you. If you're not honoring that and feeding the part of your soul that needs that, what's happening is, in place of you being that person, you're attracting people around you who are like that, and it's actually not bringing anything good to your life. It's like they're rubbing off on you in a bad way because it's not allowing you to liberate yourself from it. It's, again, your name getting dragged through the mud because of the association with this person, and it's like you, in a sense, you admire their wild, free spirit. I think it's something you wish you could cultivate in your life. You absolutely should, but you need to cultivate that, I just heard ambiguous, but whatever. You need to cultivate that free-spiritedness in a healthy way that doesn't self-sabotage or put you in, I'm not saying dangerous positions, but I don't know, possibly with the law, something with money, or I don't know. You need to have that rebellious, unique spirit in a way that allows you to thrive and grow and be happy and healthy. You're attracting people who have this rebellious spirit, but it's like for the sake of, like, you know, like giving the middle finger to the authority. And that doesn't seem to suit you right now. I'm not saying you can't do it, but there's someone in your life with a really negative influence, and I almost feel like you put them up on a pedestal or romanticize the idea, because it's like the opposites attract. You love that quality in them, that they're so confident and they do things and they don't care what other people think. But do you see how you're included in that group of they don't care what you think? But you thought it was like a friendship or a bond or something like that. I hope I'm not losing all you. Pick your soul tribe carefully. Make sure you're choosing to hang out with people who have a good influence. I'm not saying you need to be the same. I think it's actually really wonderful and healthy to have a little bit of tension in friendships because you can learn something from each other. But again, learning it or absorbing ideas in a way that, again, promote you, lift you up, raise your vibe, versus like, we can get away with this, I'll show you how. It's like the bad kid on the playground who brought his parents cigarettes, like, want one? And you're like, yeah, that's cool. Don't, like, what? You know, like, that's the vibe I get. There's like an immaturity here. Especially Gemini, Sagittarius, but the other mutable signs that could be involved here are, it could be another Virgo, or who am I missing? Who's my other mutable? Water, Pisces. I don't know why I'm getting that so strongly, but I am. This person may have tattoos. I don't mean to be that person, like they have tattoos because they're a badass. I love tattoos. It's just, I was told to tell you that. This person may have a very noticeable tattoo or something specific about that tattoo that was very, it was like a personal connection you had. Like, oh, that's whatever, like a similar name, or I don't know. Excuse me, Virgo. Do I have my water? Oh, I forgot my water. What's a girl to do? I'm not going to pause you. That just, it's going to disrupt my flow. Oh, I'm so bummed. My throat is dry. Can I get through this? Yeah, I'm going to get through it. Otherwise, I'll lose my flow. That's why. Yeah, I see you making decisions that are not from the highest vibration because you may be looking to impress somebody. Somebody who you think could have an influential or positive impact on your work or a side gig or a side opportunity. I would be careful there. I would just be really, really careful, especially if this is a relatively new presence in your life. I'm not saying this is like a backstabbing friend from 20 years ago. I don't get that vibe at all. I mean, it could potentially be someone you have a crush on, or a dating prospect, or a romantic prospect. And I'm not looking to demonize this person per se. I don't know all the details. It's going to be different for all of you. I just feel like there's I will say there's almost like a sexual connection here, even if no one's acted on it. There's like an unspoken, ooh, yeah, like I like that. Like, tell me about that. And so it just makes you susceptible to their influence because I think you want their respect. I think you want their admiration, but if we're to peel back the layers, I think you want what they have, which is that F the world attitude. And I know some of you are watching this going, that's not me at all. It might be in a way that is less dramatic because you might be starved for individuality. If you're that person who's constantly taking orders, and do you understand what I mean? Catering to the needs of those around you, of course, your soul is desperate to like breathe and just be who you are and not have to be who they want you to be. I am getting a lot of metaphors of like, either mean girls or like, kids on the playground, like teasing you, like, oh, Virgo, what, you're not going to do it? You're very susceptible to peer pressure right now. So just be aware of that, right? Do things for you. Don't do things for other people's admiration, respect, validation, all that stuff. Let it be because you want it. Some of you may be feeling very uneasy because your parents are dating again. If you're a child of divorce, you may just be really struggling with the idea. And I'm almost getting the idea that your parents may have gotten a divorce very late in life. Like in their 50s or something like that. And I hate to say like that's late in life. I'm not an ageist. That's not what I mean. But versus, I guess here's what I meant. Versus when you were a child living under the same roof. It's almost like you don't live with your parents anymore. Like you're an adult or whatever that... I regret saying like 50 is an old age. Please don't misinterpret it. That's not what I meant. But it's like your parents got a divorce after being together for, 30 years. I guess that's more of what I'm saying. After a long-term marriage, your parents may be dating again. I'm not sure why that's super significant other than, I don't know, is there some sort of connection to that energy of feeling rebellious or... I don't know, is that feeding into any of your motivations right now? For better or worse? I'm honestly not sure what to do with that. Oh, okay. So there's a message here too. If this like bad influence or whatever this is, you may be bringing them home to meet your family, your parents, your children, and your crowd, your family has an immediate disliking towards them or immediately just like very, I don't want to use the word judgmental because I actually think that they're kind of right. I'm sorry, Virgo, I said it. It's not that you have to date people to please your parents. That's the conundrum of all this. Of course, you know that by now. I'm not saying that. I guess, and this might not be your parents, but I don't know how to say this because it's such a conundrum. I'm wanting to say you need to trust the people who you know have your best intentions in mind because they do have valuable wisdom to offer you, but you're also susceptible to other people's influence that you may not necessarily need to consider. You may have a Pisces who's putting you in a really difficult position. And that might be sexually. I heard myself say that and then I looked at what was around and I was like, oh damn. I don't know. There might be, I don't know how to feel about this. Hold on. There's a couple messages there, so that has layers to it. So just unpackage that as you will. And that might not be sexual for all of you, of course. What is the major message here? Okay. Yeah, okay. You may connect with, this isn't going to be for everyone, sorry, it happens. If you are dating or single and looking, you may end up connecting with someone who's already married and they're super into like experimental sex, and I'm not judging that, but like they're super into like kinky sex and role play and like trying new stuff, and that's cool and that's healthy, except for the fact that this person's already married and very likely already has kids. So do with that what you will. Yeah, like leashes and whips and chains, and that's a confirmation for a few of you. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, the heavy secret is they're married if you don't know it. And not only that, there's a couple reactions to this. The real spouse, the one who they're actually in a marriage contract with, will find out. And not only that, well, actually, I'm not even going to say that. Very likely, oh God, there's so many messages here. The wife, the husband, it doesn't matter the gender, the spouse of the person you're sleeping with will find out or already knows because this person may struggle with sex addiction. And not only that, the way this person deals with it is we need to move. We need to up and go. We can't live in this town anymore. And it's not addressing the actual issue. So that's what I mean. I don't even think this is that big of a surprise or a secret to the current spouse. It's something that it's gotten so out of control, this person doesn't know how to deal with it, so they lack self-worth, they lack value. They assume that this is their fate, is to have a husband or a wife who cheats on them with other partners, but it's their fate. They have no choice but to stay in the marriage. That might be you. It's not being relayed to me that way, but it might be. But yeah, you have so many signs of infidelity with that last message. Cheating on partners. And again, if you're in an open relationship, more power to you. It's not about that. It's about someone who is not consenting to their spouse cheating on them, or again, experimenting with other partners or couples or swingers or whatever this is. Especially with the Pisces. I keep getting that. Pisces or Virgo, Sagittarius. Someone is not okay with this. They're not consenting, and that person is basically saying, like, F you, I'm going to do it anyway. That might be tied to your whole person you're intrigued by. You might not know that there's infidelity or cheating going on. Virgo, you're putting me through the ringer here. I'm so sorry if this is like a bummer of a message. I don't mean for it to be. In fact, let's try and... Everywhere though I look, I do see a lot of warning signs of careful, like don't get in too deep with that, because it's gonna... I just see you practicing unhealthy behaviors because you're so engulfed in this, like, I'm hearing the word rapture. There's this love or this connection, or even if it's not physical per se, it might turn into that, and you're not expecting it, or it's just you're just trying. It's almost, oh God, it's like you're trying to win the approval of your father, who was a bad boy, and maybe he went to jail and was absent from your life, and now you're replaying that out in like these dating prospects, but you're not doing it consciously. Again, there's no blaming here. I'm not trying to make you feel shame or guilt. I'm simply bringing it to your attention. If this makes sense, this is like a larger issue than just, oh, that was a weird dating connection. Like, it's something much bigger than that. You need to be more discerning. You need to be more discerning with who you're hanging out with. And the disapproval of your friends or family, you don't need to look at it as a personal attack on your freedom or your liberties to date or like who you like. You can like whoever you want. You can participate in whatever you want with other consenting adults. Do you understand what I mean? But I almost think you have like earmuffs to actually really good advice or guidance right now. And it might even be this tarot reading. Is anyone still out there? Did I lose you all? Alright, how do I reset from this? Some of you may have a partner that comes out and confesses an interest in other genders or something with bisexuality, or there may be something more unique about their sexual preferences that they come out with. And they're very desperate for your understanding, and that could also be you as well. Yeah, so on a lighter note, or a high vibing message, some of you might currently be with a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, someone who is very sensitive. And I know we did mention a Pisces earlier. Could be a different one. I don't know. Multiple Pisces exist in the world. Take this with a grain of salt. There is a very deep, sensitive, I do want to say water sign for most of you, who actually has a very positive influence on their life, but there's something that is very unique or different about them. And it's either been the source of rejection of them in the past, so they're very sensitive to share it. But it's actually going to deepen the connection and understanding between you if they can find it in themselves to express it. It could also be that they're specifically afraid to express it to you because they fear your rejection or your resentment. And it might be a very healthy desire to explore something in the bedroom, but they're crippled by anxiety of confessing it, and so it's like a secret in the relationship. And it's not necessarily that they're acting on it behind your back. I don't think that per se, but it's almost like this person is looking to introduce something or spice it up with a little bit of this or that, but they're so crippled by your fear or judgment that they're not bringing it up. And I'm just going to be super honest. This is not for everybody, but it's for some of you, it might be a bisexuality. Like it just might be something that's always existed in them, but they never, again, fed that part of their soul or their spirit that wanted that. And so it's sort of come to a head where they feel like they really need to tell you, but they may be worried that they're going to risk losing you in the partnership or in the marriage. Especially if they just dyed their hair a unique color. You know, purple, red, green, blue. They dyed their hair a color recently, and it's almost like, it's like a physical manifestation of the changes trying to be expressed from the inside out. Like an unusual color, like, you know, neon yellow or neon green. This person might be of a different ethnic background than you. They may be, yeah. They have a more foreign background to you. Yeah, they see other people living a lifestyle they want, and they so badly want to be a part of that, but they feel like they need your permission. And I mean, again, they might if you guys are in a closed marriage. What is it called? Exclusivity, right? It may show itself on their computer history. I don't know if you want to go down that rabbit hole, but this is something they may have searched for on the internet. It might be like a porn thing. I don't know. But I think they are gonna come out and tell you, because they're at a point where they have nothing to lose. So however you choose to respond to this is entirely up to you. It might weird you out. You may want to think about it. It might be a deal breaker where you're like, I want out of this relationship. Others of you may be willing to try it. Whatever you do, I would encourage you to practice empathy in your reaction, because even though it's something that you might not be comfortable with or trying, again, that's totally valid. I actually do like this person's energy. And so that does lead me to believe that you may have different people coming up in your spread here. And again, I'm not here to judge, but I do sense that if you are in the partnership, maybe this temptation to experiment with another person is coming from you, because there may be a lack of sexuality in your current marriage. Do you understand what I mean? Because this person is holding back for a reason because they want to express it, but you might not understand it as that. You just think they're not interested in sex anymore, and so you're like, well, I gotta get it somewhere. Again, there's like a huge need for honesty here. This may, again, involve a water sign, a Scorpio, or a Gemini. And Scorpio is a water sign, so Pisces and Cancer being the other two. It could really be any sign, but yeah, I'm getting a lot of watery energy here. Yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. Whatever you choose to do with it, practice empathy. Be kind. Because I think it takes this person a lot of courage and guts and strength to be open with you about it. And it's probably been, again, a source of resentment or rejection in the past, whether they were rejected by their family for being gay or something like that. It's a very sensitive subject, but this person loves you and trusts you enough to come forward with it, but it's almost like they're white knuckling it as they see how you react to it. And again, it's coming up to me in terms of your own partnerships. This could be something your child is experiencing, if your child is dating or whatever, feel free to use it through a slightly different lens. But gosh, Virgo, you far and away have the heaviest messages this week. I want to close you off with one more thing and try and keep it a little bit lighter, because I see the potential for that to happen. So, full moon in Aquarius, the second one in the last month or two, technically. Full moons bring completions and culminations to certain areas of our lives. So for you, this may have to do with your daily work habits, the services you provide at work. That may be shuffling or changing up. There may be a newfound exploration of some new concept or idea, I'm hearing language. So, I don't know, new skills that you can incorporate and utilize that will expand your network, expand your responsibilities, your workload, but I think it would be in a positive way. It will require you to have some sort of like responsibility and a serious tone to it, but I think there might be a chance for a lighter energy to come into that, where maybe you can delegate more, or maybe it's new power. It could be something like that. Very likely has to do with like the services you provide at work. Even if you were the CEO or the boss, your daily work routine. It may also have to do with health, issues of your health and your wellness. I mean, that's significant for you guys anyway, because you are rulers of the 6th house. Get your yearly physical or whatever you got to do. If get rechecked for especially for my men or women, but your breast exam, something about that might be important with the full moon happening there. Nothing to fear, right? Again, all preventative stuff. I'm not a doctor, just every now and then those messages come through, so why wouldn't I share it? That's good advice for everyone. Get your yearly physical, make sure you're good to go. And if you've always struggled with weight or an imbalanced diet, there may be like a new awakening to finally put into action that plan to eat better or exercise more. Or for a lot of you, it seems like a weight struggle, and it might not be too much weight. It might be the opposite. If you're not keeping weight on, you may start implementing a new routine to maintain a better lifestyle in terms of your wellness and health, okay? All right, that's what I got for you guys. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for digging in deep with me. We got kind of deep there. So again, I hope it helps someone out there. That's my only goal. Please like the video, guys. Subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends if this makes sense. If you like what you see here, if you like the messages, word of mouth really does help my channel grow. That's what I'm trying to do. Other than that, thanks for showing up today, guys, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye.